Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm here today to provide the best advice to an younger and a wiser. Coming to the younger, most of the youngsters are facing a complexity in finding a right employer once they finish their education. So let's see what all the areas they need to focus on in finding a right employer. First, they need to look at the employer profile. When I say employer profile, what is the employer mission, what is the employer vision, and what is the employer history, and are there any achievements of employer in the past and present. And then we need to look into the current opportunities and employee benefits. When I say current opportunities, what are the current vacancies available and what is the eligibility criteria of jobs, whether we are really able to fit into that job. And apart from this, apart from the monthly remuneration, are we getting any other benefits like house rent allowance, transport allowance, PF benefit, and all these things we need to see. And then we need to look into the development opportunities. Once we finish our job contract, for example, let's say an year, after that, are we really having any further developments like any progressions, promotions, or increments? Are we really having some growth? This thing we need to consider. And then we also need to see, we also need to glance at the senior staff member profile. Let's take a couple of senior staff members in that organization and what is their current work experience and what is the current job band, so that we can able to see whether there is really a career growth in that organization or not. And then we need to look into the team culture. When I say team culture, how the team is really interacting with their peers and are they really helpful to their peers, and whether they're really professional or not. These things we can look into. And then we also need to look into the employer reputation and size. What is the current employer reputation in the market? What is the feedback in the market? And how many employees are working in that employer? All these things we need to focus on in finding a right employer. So hope you will consider all these areas and then you will find a right employer, and then you will select for a job position and you will complete your job contract. Let's say an year of job contract. Now what next? Let's see that. So decision making after your job contract. First, we need to look into the management feedback and support. Let's say you have worked for an year, and then during your 1 year of tenure, how much support your management has given to you, whether they are really helpful, and during when you need some support, are they really helpful, and what is the feedback of your manager, whether it is good or bad, or what is your appraisal feedback, and all these things we need to focus. And then we also need to focus into the whether uh, whether you have really gained expertise during your tenure. So almost you have worked for an year, and whether you have really gained sufficient amount of knowledge in that job and expertise. And out if you move to some other organization, whether you are able to work independently without any support, whether you have good amount of knowledge in that job band. This thing you need to consider. And then you also need to look into the peer support. When you are in need, when you're doing your job, and in this 1 year, when you are in need, your peers have supported you properly? Are they given you the right amount of support or not? Whether you are really comfortable in continuing the same organization, this thing you need to consider. And then you also need to look into the work life balance in the organization. When I say work life balance, whether you are really working till late nights and whether you are really unable to give equal importance to your family members, unable to spend with your family members, whether you are totally into the job profile, totally into the work environment, all these things. You need to consider all these things and then you need to decide. So I hope you will consider all these things and you decide whether to continue in the same organization or you switch the organization, and whether, and in total you have gained some amount of experience. So now what next? Let's see that. So decision making after few years of career. So let's take 5 years of career, whether in the same organization or in a different organization. Total experience you have for almost 5 years you have gained in that sector. Now we need to look into whether you are really happy to switch your career. When I say really happy to switch, so it means you are uncomfortable in your current career. For example, let's say currently I am working in a banking sector. I am not comfortable, I am not happy during my 5 years of working journey. I want to switch into educational sector or a corporate sector. So now if I want to move, I can't simply move and get a job in a corporate company. I need to gain some expertise, right? So I need to gain some amount of knowledge. I need to learn new technologies. So now what next? We need to look at the domain areas of interest. When I say domain areas of interest, as I said, I want to move into corporate company now. So look at the current financial stability. I need to look into the whether I'm really financially I'm comfortable, whether I can able to invest a good amount of money in learning a new technology to move into the corporate company, and whether I am able to spend good amount of time, let's say 3 months, it may be 6 months, to learn a new technology, and then to get a job in a corporate company it might take an year, almost an year. Whether I am able to spend this much amount of time and money to learn a new technology, this thing I need to consider. And then I also need to look into the current lifestyle. What is my current, whether it might be whether I have a physical fitness and mental stability, and what is my eating tendency. All these things comes under the lifestyle. Whether I am fit, I'm able to learn a new technology and spend this much amount of time to start a new career. And then, so once you see all these things, we need to see and invest and start a new journey. So let's see, let's take consider that I worked in a banking sector. I was uncomfortable. Now I want to move to the corporate company. So I invested good amount of money and time to learn a new technology, and now I'm into the corporate company. Now what next? So in corporate company, let's say 5 more years, I have gained good expertise in that company. So in total, I have banking experience 5 years and corporate experience 5 years. Totally, I have gained 10 years of work experience. Now what next? Decision making after a long work experience. So look back and see what you have really achieved. Whether you have really gained good amount of expertise in a banking sector and corporate sector, or whether you have not gained anything, totally it's waste of your time and effort. Only salary you got it, nothing you have gained, no achievements, and no healthy lifestyle, and These kind of things, whether you're really having some bad experiences during your 10 years of tenure, these things you need to look into. And then you need to look whether you're really healthy to continue your work. If not, whether to take a retire, whether do you have a retirement savings. When I say healthy to continue your work, whether I'm really capable enough to continue my same corporate company job and then to continue 2 more years or 5 more years, or if not, I need to look into if I want to retire and if I don't want to do any job, whether I have any retirement savings, a good amount of bank balance is there for me or not. This thing I need to see. So I have checked all these things and I considered that I have good amount of bank balance. Now I want to retire. I don't want to work now. So what next? So during retirement, first we need to ensure our health and life. When I say health and life, it's health insurance and life insurance. So these things we need to take health. We need to take health insurance and we need to apply for the life insurance as well. And then we can help next generation with our wisdom. So we have gained a good amount of knowledge, work experience, and we know what are the pros and cons in our career, and and what are the complexities we have faced, and if a younger generation need to have some amount of mentoring, we should be able to help them with our wisdom. And next, we need to maintain a healthy lifestyle and proper sleep. So these many years we have worked, so we have struggled a lot and we have both good and bad experiences. Now relax and maintain a healthy lifestyle and with proper sleep. And we can make travel plans based on your budget. So based on a budget, whatever wherever you wanna go, you can go, and then happily stay healthy and be happy. So this is the advice which I wanna give to the younger generation and wiser. So thank you all for watching. Take care. Bye bye.